Yeah, right next to me, I have Council Terry Rogers. Council,
Yes.
would you actually tell us about Ubuntu Legal Consultancy and about you as well?
Okay. Thank you very much for taking time and visiting us and getting to see our offices and seeing exactly what we do. So I'll start by describing who I am, and then I can talk about Ubuntu because it's an extension of what I believe in and my colleagues. My name is Terry Rogers Turia Singla. I'm a lawyer qualified in Uganda and now qualified in the UAE and another jurisdiction like the UK. What we have is a firm that is a legal consultancy in the UAE. I have practiced for at least now 9 years, both in Uganda, parts of Kenya, and in the UAE for 5 years. I used to work with a firm called Arthur Anderson, an American firm. My colleagues and I came together, all of us of African descent, came together and formed a firm called Ubuntu Legal. Ubuntu Legal comes from an African word, a Bantu word, Ubuntu, which cuts across all the Bantu groups. I think from parts of Sudan, Ethiopia, down all the way to South Africa. It is something that is dear to Africans, which means that I exist in a community and we are a communal society. So that is why we came up with the word Ubuntu. And it really describes our beliefs as Africans. And wherever we were working before, we noticed that there was a big challenge. There's a big African community, close to 800,000 if you total it up, in the UAE alone.
Sure.
And there was really no one serving this kind of population here.
Sure.
We kept getting inquiries, and people did not have where to go.
Yeah, sure.
So we came together and said, we cannot sit back and, as professionals, see that this market is unserved or underserved.
Right.
So we had to step into the ring and came up with a legal consultancy firm. And now we have been advising people since April of 2024. Ubuntu generally caters for all kinds of general legal advice. We do real estate, we do immigration, we do commercial and corporate advisory, we do tax, we do debt recovery, we do investment advisory, international trade, and civil and criminal litigation. So that's really what Ubuntu is, and that is what I am.
Wow. Yes. So beautiful. So going forward, we would like actually to know the landscape of the legal services right here in UAE.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you just at least give us a platform about that?
Yeah. Thank you very much for that question. Many times I find that there's a big misconception of what the UAE legal landscape is. Largely because people have less information, and also because there's been an information gap from lack of the laws being translated from Arabic. And this has happened, luckily enough, the country has translated all its laws now to English, and many of these other common languages, they are coming to French and all these other languages. And that then bridges the information gap that I feel has been a problem. But just to give you a general landscape of what the UAE is, the UAE is a federal state. By federal, it means that there are different units that then form different units called emirates that come together and form a union, which becomes the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
In total, there are 7 emirates, and each of them has a ruler. Those 7 rulers form what they call the Federal Supreme Council, which is the top governing body of the country.
Sure.
And then within each of those emirates, they have some laws which they can make within an emirate, and there are those laws which are left at the federal level, at the national level. The UAE has a president, and it has a cabinet, which is called the federal. For federal supreme, we have the federal supreme council at the very top, and then you have the cabinet in the middle, and then you have the federal national, the parliament, which is elected from the people in the different different emirates. So that is the hierarchy of the laws. The UAE is governed by a constitution because it became independent in 1971, December 2nd, 1971. The constitution provides for the 7 Emirates. It provides for what laws, taxation, and things like that. And then under the constitution, most importantly, is the emphasis for openness, because it's a country that has been open to foreigners and to investors for a very long time. The basis of the laws is Sharia law in the constitution, and Arabic text takes precedent. But over time, from the late 90s, they realized that the expatriates who are speaking English and from different jurisdictions needed laws that also satisfy them.
Yeah.
And so they came up with the concepts of free zones. And so now what we have is we have over 40 free zones, and out of those, the biggest, DIFC, which is Dubai International Financial Center, and Abu Dhabi Global Markets, ADGM, are all English common law jurisdictions. What it means is that they all follow common law, which we use in most of the Commonwealth countries, including Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, all the South Africa, which has a mixed code. So the free zones which have now common law courts and English common laws have favored at least a lot of foreign investment and the people who come in. The mainland is largely governed by federal courts, and then you have Emirate courts. For example, Dubai courts, Abu Dhabi courts, Abu Dhabi Judicial Department. So the structure, as I said, you have the constitution, you have the president, the 2 vice presidents, you have the federal supreme council of the rulers of each emirate, then you have the cabinet, and then you have the parliament.
Okay.
Yes.
Right there on that step. So where do you actually find like so effective mainly for us Africans?
So
like concern,
yes.
Yeah.
So as Africans, largely we are interested in business. We are interested in finding labor and employment, gainful employment. We are interested in real estate. We are interested in trade and so much more. So the laws that govern most of these things, because the UAE, first of all, is blessed with a good location. And they made that location key and enhanced that competitiveness of the UAE, first by setting up an international airport that then became the regional and international hub. There are plans to make the largest and the biggest airport in the world in Dubai South, because of the strategic location of the UAE, 6 hours away from all major locations in Europe, in Africa, and in Asia. They also have some of the best ports, Jebel Ali Port in Ras Al Khaimah and in Abu Dhabi. So in terms of facilitating trade, they have already worked on the infrastructure. They have also worked on the laws to allow foreign investors to bring in money, African investors. You can now own your business 100% without requiring a local or a local Emirati. And you can invest in over 1,000 business activities. There are no personal taxes. You don't have pay as you earn. You don't have a lot of those personal taxes we have. They have created a very robust, because what has happened in most of these countries is that once these people come in your country, then you start creating restrictions for them.
Yes.
But the UAE, from before independence towards independence, the largest number of people is non-Emiratis. So they have created openness.
Okay, so I wanna take you back a little bit. You mentioned about mainly 3, was 3 or 4? You segmented about the structures. You said about labor,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And investment,
Yes.
right?
Investment,
And,
tourism,
yeah, tourism.
labor, investment, tourism, real estate, taxes,
Okay.
debt collection.
Okay, where do you find a large number of mainly Africans actually practicing that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course we have the largest amount or the most number of people in labor
In labor, true.
because we provide a lot of blue collar work, and now we have entered white collar jobs.
Yeah.
Most of the blue collar has been largely from East Asia, Southern Asia, Western Asia and Southern Asia, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. But we entered the market as Africans, East Africans and West Africans mostly, and we have a lot of now blue collar, white collar in parts of East Africa, parts of West Africa, and also a large number of them from Southern Africa.
Could you just digest for me
The difference between the blue collar and white collar?
I may understand it actually, but
Yeah.
you might actually find someone
That's true.
they would like to know more about it. Yeah.
That's true. So with blue collar, most of the work is work that you need to use your hands and a lot of manual labor. Security jobs, cleaning and driving trucks, and construction jobs, all that requires a lot of manpower.
I think now every African is actually looking for ways to transform.
Yes, so
Yeah.
now we have seen very good progress in terms of people progressing to the service industry, tourism especially, and then creating a lot of white collar jobs. You see now a lot of accountants coming here from Africa. You see now a lot of people in the tech industry coming from Africa, especially Kenya and Nigeria in the tech industry. They have done so well. Fintechs, most of them have their headquarters here, so they are bringing labor from Africa. So we have good progress in that, and a lot of them also are in trade. Because, as I said, this is a logistical hub.
Yeah.
So people use this place to source and then take the goods back home.
Okay.
Yes.
So mainly before actually the large number was in labor, right? Yeah.
The labor and trade.
Okay. And as for now, where do you see like a big opportunity?
I mean, so most of our graduating young people in Africa are coming out on a lot of technology focused courses. A lot of people have courses that can allow them to transfer skills, because once you go in the hospitality business, you could study BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration, but you can still do some hospitality jobs. So we see transferable skills. You could be in anything, but you can do hospitality. You can handle tourism. You can be a real estate agent. You can work as an accountant, like I said, in some places. So the opportunity is largely in mostly technology spaces, but also in the services industry, hospitality, tourism, and things like that, and real estate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So right there, I think it's taking us to the right direction.
Yeah.
Because if actually mainly Africans would like to progress to white collar job, they would like to know. They would want to know how would someone actually set up a business right here in UAE.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because again, we go back to the misconceptions I was telling you. People think it's very hard to set up a business here, but it's not that hard, really. One has to first of all identify where they need to make money, in what sector you're looking at, and what business activities you're most competent in. As I said, there are many opportunities here. Everyone all over the world has chosen to come here, and there's something you can sell to someone. You can sell good African food by importing it, coffee, and all these other things. You can, have labor force coming. You can have tourists coming in. You can provide services in the hotels. You can do trading. So there are many other opportunities. You can do a technology company here. So once you identify the kind of business activity you want to do here. The next thing is to identify who your target customers will be. If you intend to trade or provide services in the mainland, not the free zones, then mainland would be a good jurisdiction. If you intend to export, bring goods and export them or export services, then the free zones are usually good because the free zones are specialized: finance, ICT, logistics, and things like that. Once you then now know who your target customers are, then we can advise you. But the requirements are very simple. They need your passport. Some places ask for bank statements just to see your 6 months bank statement, just to see if you have some money. But for startups, they don't ask. Technology startups and all these things, because they don't expect a startup, a young 26-year-old, to have, a big bank balance.
Yeah.
They ask for, as I said, your passport. They'll ask for just a business plan, which is something you come up with because you must have a business plan. And then, you're ready to start. So the payments usually range from about $3,000 on the higher end. Sometimes, if it's a regulated entity, which go in finance, like fintechs, then it's a higher amount. But most of them, trading, services industry, the average amount is about $3,000 for the license. And that license comes with a flexi desk option. It comes with one visa for the partners, and then you can be a resident in the UAE.
Yeah. Well, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, as you counsel Terry, you see, exactly what actually you've explained to our people, about setting up a business here.
Yeah.
What is the main issue that you find it like so difficult at stopping actually people starting up a business here?
There are a number of factors, of course, and some of them are global, some are local. So I'll start with the local because you have already the group of people who are already here working,
Yeah.
and have thought, okay, can I transition from employment to self-employment?
Yeah.
That is one group. Then you have the group that is still back home in Africa, that is wondering, how can I then open up in a global hub like Dubai or the UAE generally? So for those who are, local here and are already employed, there are different steps you have to take. Of course, you have to terminate your employment, you serve your notice. Once you identify the activity you want to do, you start by terminating your employment peacefully. You have to serve your notice. Usually it's about 30 days or maximum 60 days. Once you serve your notice, your employer will cancel the visa, and then you can apply for the license. The other option is for your employer to give you a no objection to open a business if it's not competing. If it's competing, still they can give you a no objection, but most employers will not be able to give you if you're competing with them. So once they have cancelled you, you can then go through the process of setup. I told you.
Still, you can be still working for the employer, and then you ask for no objection.
Yes,
so
if your employer is fine. If your employer is fine with that, and there's no direct competition.
Okay.
Which is in rare cases. So most times you have to terminate and then leave on good terms. Have your labor card cancelled and have your sponsorship of your employer cancelled. Because then you're going to sponsor, the company you've opened will sponsor you. So you'll no longer need your employer to that extent, apart from business to business transactions.
That's good.
The second group is the group that is in Africa, like I said, and is wondering, how can I move to the UAE? Either they have an existing company and they want to set up a branch or a similar company here, or they want to set it up as the shareholders themselves.
Yeah.
So those, what my advice is really, once you identify the business activities and identify the target customers, you don't need even to be here to open a business. Once you get your channel partners like us who advise you on the right place to open, and then we can handle your documentation, which is typically the passport, like I said, Sometimes they require good conduct certificate from police, your bank statement, and that's it. You and your business plan. Then the documents can go back and forth, and then you will come as a business owner.
Okay.
You don't need to be here.
Yeah. Okay. That's super great. So, Councillor Terry.
Yes.
Well, give us or tell us mainly about some issues actually that are stopping Africans from setting up a business here. Yeah.
The issues my view is that the issues are because of misinformation. They don't have enough information. But once people get information, they realize it's not hard to set up. The typical misinformation that happens is the fact that people think, everything in the UAE is Sharia law. You cannot do different types of businesses. If you come and then dress like this, you'll be arrested. There's a lot of misinformation. But this is the most open place you can find in anywhere in the world. And in terms of investment, most people who have taken the route of opening up here always get their businesses open. Once they're able to pay the fee, depending on the location and the business activities, the fee is fair enough. When you look at different jurisdictions that provide the services that this place provides, then you have, of course, the issue where some countries struggle to get some visas, maybe from the past where there have been some elements within that kind of community who have created havoc here and there, and sometimes they ask for extra requirements to grant. If you open a business, you want employees, sometimes from your nationality, and you find that because some elements have messed up the name of a particular nationality, then they add extra requirements. But otherwise, generally, you will find it very easy to open a business.
Sometimes like you need to mix up with different nationalities or.
Yes, so some nationality, like we have had in the past, some elements of especially the African diaspora do a lot of fraudulent activities and get involved in criminal activities. And those elements sometimes, when they see a pattern, a particular nationality, and they see a pattern that's the same kinds of people, they add extra requirements.
Okay.
Just to sieve out the serious people and the fraudsters.
Oh.
But they don't discriminate largely on nationality.
All right, that's great. So people would like actually to know how to reach to you.
Yes, so we have our website for Ubuntu Legal. Our website, you can do www.ubuntu. Ubuntu is UBUNTU. Then legal without a space. Ubuntu Legal is UBUNTU legal.ae, because the domain here is AE. You can reach out to us through our website. You can also reach out on our phone numbers. My number is 05 888
All right, that's great.
And also, finally, our location in Dubai on 31 floor, 3107 Aspin Tower.
Okay, that's great. So thank you actually for taking us through the legal.
Yes.
And this is going to be happening because this sector is very wide and there's a lot of questions. Everything actually you talk about has different questions.
Yes.
But it's going to be happening every week. And for all our viewers, we actually request you to keep on following. You're going to be getting updates from everywhere. And for all
sending
of those,
your questions.
yeah, plus sending the questions, because we know you've been trying actually to get away from this, because you find like there is no actually direct maybe information of how you can solve your issues, mainly about law. So one thing I realize is that many people come to us, maybe they have captives, like they're in jail, and they would like actually to have a lawyer.
Yes.
Actually, even in our country,
Yeah.
it's not so easy to reach out to lawyers.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
There's no direct, like, for example, the way how we advertise our businesses over there,
Yes.
right?
We are not allowed to advertise. Yes.
Exactly here. There's no
Even
social media
in
for
most
lawyers.
countries, I think apart from a few, like the US, which and states in the US that allow legal persons like lawyers or consultants to advertise. Most other jurisdictions don't. The UAE is doesn't allow us.
Exactly. So what is difficult here is where to start from.
Yes.
And it's right here. If you're looking for a lawyer, or if you want to consult mainly about legal services, so I'm sure you're in the right place. You are on the right platform. So we are always moving with Homeland Travel Agency, and this is actually all about to cater for you to make sure that you are safe and secure. I stay as Abdulaziz, and we're gonna be with you, or I'm going to be with you, as well as Counsel Terry, taking you through all the legal services right here in UAE. So see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you. You, they